Hi guys, I'm back. Now, let me do this story time. Just like the title say, this story time is about the time I held Christmas at my house and hubby was away at work. Alright, let me tell you how I started, y'all. So I called everybody to invite them for Christmas, and hubby said, look, since I'm not going to be there to help cook and everything, let us just cater it. And I said, okay, fine, let's do that. So I contacted the lady to cater it, and she said, okay, fine, I'll be able to cater it for you. So I said, great, perfect. She said, then she called me 3 days before, and she said, I have a problem. I can't do the turkey. I can't do, she did one type of dressing, but she couldn't do the other dressing that I wanted. And she couldn't do the potato salad. And yeah, I think that was it. She did everything else, mac and cheese, everything else. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll just contact Rouse's, which is a local grocery store here in Louisiana. I said, I'll just contact them. It's the last minute, I know, but I know they still sell turkeys and everything. So I called, and the lady said, no, we stopped taking orders last week for Christmas. So I said, okay. She said, but I'll put your name down, and I'll have my manager call you, and in case, anybody doesn't pick up their turkey or whatever. So I said, okay, fine. So I hung up the phone with her, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to get no turkey, no nothing. So I contacted Honey Baked Ham, and they said, yeah, you could come get turkey, ham, and all that stuff, right? So I said, okay. So I jumped in a car and was headed to Honey Baked Ham to get my turkey. And I know they serve sides and stuff like that. So I was going to get that from the Honey Baked Ham, my local Honey Baked Ham. So as I was driving there, traffic was really, 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 really bad. It was a couple of days before Christmas, so everybody's out doing their last minute-ish. So I said, so I'm just driving, and I said, you know what, let me stop at this grocery store that didn't have a lot of people in the parking lot. So I didn't realize the grocery store was, again, another local grocery store. But it was a smaller grocery store. So I said, I'm going to stop in here, and I'm going to get, because I still had to get some sodas and things like that for Christmas Day. So I went in to get the sodas and everything, and when I went inside, they were still selling cooked turkeys, sides, everything you need for your Christmas meal. They were still selling, and you had up to the Christmas Eve to pick them up, because they had them. So I ran over there, and I was like, wait, am I reading this right? I can get my turkey, I can get my dressing. I see y'all have dressing there. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, y'all even got some carrot souffle, which if anybody knows, it sounds like it'll be like, no, it just tastes like sweet potatoes, but it's carrots. Carrots are sweet. So I was like, oh, I want it. Let me get it. So she was like, okay, so let me get all your stuff together, and I bag it up, or I give it to you. I was like, okay, perfect. So this was actually, no, so I told her I was going to pick it up the next day, which the next day was the day before Christmas Eve. And she said, actually, I can have it ready for you for Christmas Eve. And I was like, oh, that's even better, because I could pick it up for Christmas Eve and already be ready. I could just lay it out. She said, okay. So I leave. I'm super excited. I get to pick it up Christmas Eve. I contacted so I get the drinks and everything. I'm super excited. So I called the lady, and I told her, I was like, what day did you need me to pick up? She was like, pick it up on Christmas Eve. And I was like, oh, perfect. So I told her, I was like, I'll pick up your stuff about 1 o'clock, and then I told the lady at the grocery store I was going to pick up stuff about 3. So I was super excited. I'm like, yes, I'll go pick that up, go over there, pick that up, bring it home, start setting up. Christmas is going to be ready, right? And I was like, and all I have to do is heat up everything, right? Not too hard to do. So called hubby back, told him what I found. He was like, oh, that's perfect. So I go, I go home and everything, start, getting out the chafing dishes and everything, because I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm really ready. I got everything that I need, and there's no home, no foul. Got my turkey, got my dressing, and the lady, I think, made a rice dressing, but this was a cornbread dressing. My brother usually make the cornbread dressing, but he was like, if you gonna cater, just cater it all. So I was like, yes, I will do. So we did all that, and the Christmas Eve came. I go pick up everything. At 1 o'clock, I go to the lady house, get everything. She has my pans ready. Everything smelling good, looking good. I put it in the car. So my brother and my husband was talking on the sidebar, I know nothing about it. He told him, he was like, man, I don't know how this lady cook, but I'm going to go ahead and cook some, because my brother is a really good cook. So he was like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cook some dressing just to bring over there just in case. So he was like, cool, just save me some when I get home, because he was getting off the boat the day after Christmas. So, so he was working. So, anywho, my brother said he was going to do that. Well, I go to pick up the turkey and the dressing and a carrot fillet from this local grocery store. And when I get there, the lady said, okay, here's everything. But it's in like a box and a seal thing. And I said, okay. I said, just need to be heated? She said, yes, ma'am. So I said, okay. So I get home, and I just set everything to the side in the refrigerator. And I said, I'm going to start heating up everything in the morning. Well, in the morning, Christmas morning came. Jump up, super excited. I'm going to store everything in the oven. So I take the turkey out, and I said I'm going to do that first, because that's going to be the hardest thing to warm. It just needs to be warmed up, but it's going to probably take a little longer than everything else. So I put it in I left it in the bag, because it was like in the bag. I left it in the bag, and I turned on the oven, and I put it in. So my brother calls me, and he's like, hey, I'm not too far from your house. Open up the door. And I was like, okay. It's like, you early? Because he said he was going to come early to help set up and everything. Well, he had told my husband, he didn't tell me. So it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, okay, I open the door and everything. So he gets there. When he gets there, he gets there about 9:30-ish. And so when he gets there, I'm like sitting everything on the side or whatever that the lady fixed for us, and also my turkey is in the oven. So he gets there and he was like, what is that smell? I was like, oh, I got the turkey in the oven. And so he goes back there, he pulls it out. He's like, oh my God, you didn't pull the stuff out the turkey. You got to take it out. And I'm like, what stuff? And there was like the stuff. I was like, oh my God. So he pulls out, then he opens up the lady's mac and cheese. Like, it's like really runny mac and cheese. It's not baked. So he was like, oh, and this mac and cheese needs to be baked. And all of a sudden, because he was like dressed up, he had on a suit, his button down shirt and his slacks and everything. So he looks at all the food and realized the lady just prepped it. She didn't cook it. Oh my God. So he started rolling up his sleeves and he was like, don't worry. I was like, oh my goodness. He was like, don't worry about it. I got it. So he started whipping it up. He was in that kitchen whipping it up. So in the process, I'm like, not even ready yet. I'm still in my pajamas. He's like, go get dressed. I got this. I got this. So he calls his kids and he's like, come here. You get this. You get that. Like, he just started going to town in that kitchen. And I was like, I'm just like standing there like, oh my God. If he didn't come early that morning, like, Christmas would have been gone. Like, disaster. Like I don't know if y'all understanding me. Like, this was like, I can't believe this. So I called my husband while my brother was in there, and he was like, yeah, he kind of figured that it was not going to go as smooth as you planned, but we had already talked about it. They had it planned. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, that was the time Christmas almost got canceled.